Hello from America. Now, the thing I love about living in a free country is that I can celebrate Independence Day whatever day I want, and I want today. So, happy America birthday to y'all, especially if you aren't in this country, because I bet you anything we got a military base in yours. So, how's everybody doing? I'm not great. So I still want to say hi and see how everybody's doing. And I was going to do some reviews of tanks. You guys have submitted so many of those darn things that I have years of tanks to review at this point. And hopefully I'll get through them, at some point. But as for now, I'm just trying to get through surviving, caring for the fish I have. That, and I got to be down in LA in a week and a half, and I'm giving a talk on a subject that I've never done before. Never given a talk on before at a club. Anyways, I've done the talk. I've given it on the channel, but I have not actually given it to like a club. I don't like these glasses. They're impersonal. But I had a bit of an incident. If Kenny were in here, I would call it a cancident. But basically, I went out to a lake, and I thought in this said lake that I would find some creatures that would make a good co-pet with the sunfish I have, the pumpkin seed, the Lepomis gibosus, Mr. Gibson. Now, I do enjoy Gibson. I found Gibson a lady friend, and the lady friend has survived almost a week in the tank now. So that's good. It's good, yeah. I just realized I didn't cut these sleeves evenly. They're well, maybe I'm just getting fat on one side. Look at my farmer's tan. Look at this, y'all. Isn't that a thing of beauty? Look how pasty white I am versus the part of me that looks like it's done anything with its life. My hands. Anyways, it looks like a KFC bucket of chicken. Yeah, this is a hat that I got. My wife and I went to a Mariners baseball game. What was it? Maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the free gift at the door was these, and they're actually made pretty well. There's elastic in them, and there's a liner in them, and they're surprisingly well made for a cheap hat. But yeah, I'm bearing it all, guys. This is not going to be a long live stream, probably. Honestly, I have been not. I'm not gonna. I can't shine it on for you guys. But I don't want to hide from you guys either. But I just haven't been doing well. I've been having a lot of autoimmune issues. I've had shingles outbreak, had a lupus flare, and digestive issues. And then that all got under control with the medications, but the medications make me feel like garbage and make me kind of loopy, out of it, tired, because of all the antihistamines, Benadryl, and then also I also have to take anti-seizure medicine, as you guys probably know if you saw the video on the lightning stuff. Kind of went over my daily regimen of medications there, and gabapentin, and what is it? Gabapentin, and that's just generic Neurontin, and then there's a host of other things, but they all kind of make me hydrazine And then they give you, you know, like, oh, we don't want your stomach to have problems, so here's a bunch of folic acid, and here's a bunch of this, and here's for the other end of the spectrum. But frequently, I get frustrated, and I just want to like not take it or go to the doctors or listen to the doctors anymore, and I just want to like throw my hands up. But um, yeah, so I had an incident that I didn't realize could get so bad. And that is, I went and I caught a crawfish or crayfish or crawdad or crawdaddy or mud bug, whatever you want to call them, uh, a signal crayfish, and it was a full-grown adult. Now I've been putting baby crayfish that are everywhere right now, about an inch long. I've been putting those into the aquarium that has the pumpkin seed fish Gibson in it, and he would just destroy them. I mean, he would bite them, and he'd hit them so hard that their either just their tail or just their front two claws would be suspended in water for a moment and then flutter down to the bottom of the tank, and the rest of them was gone. Maybe a few legs. Like it was impressive. Uh, yeah. So anyhow, I thought that that's enough of that. Let's get him a real opponent. Let's get him someone in the tank that will put him in his place. Now, not someone to abuse him, not a fish that's gonna hurt Gibson. I don't want any of my fish hurt. But sometimes when you got a really aggressive fish, you just need to put another aggressive fish in there or another aggressive creature in there. And in the case of this, an aggressive crawfish seems perfect because it's a tall tank that he's living in, and there's a stick that goes up diagonally, but not to all parts of it. And so I think there's plenty of space for the fish to get away from the crawfish, but the crawfish is definitely big enough. I mean, he's lobster size. He's definitely big enough to get away from the fish if the fish was going to be a problem to him. And you know what's interesting is now that I put a few little ones in with it, these littler crayfish that you catch all the time, they aren't being touched. So it's almost like he's gotten afraid of anything with claws or maybe the smell of those things or whatever. But long story short, if you can see my face still, this was 2 days ago, I guess. Maybe was it 3 now? 2 or 3 days ago now. I handled the I have cuts. I don't even know where they came from on me right now. I handled the crawdad. I pulled him out, and I didn't touch himself. I had a bag that was touching him, and that bag got water from a bag that had been sitting in the back of my truck for an hour. And he the bag of water, as I poured it into the aquarium, it spilled on my hand. So I kind of like, flicked it off, got a paper towel and dried it. And it felt kind of itchy for a sec, and then I just kind of thought that was weird. And I know I'm allergic to shrimp, but I've never had any problems with like neocaridina, bamboo shrimp, even like CPOs or little the little Mexican crayfish and stuff. I've never had any problems with them. I've even picked those up with my hands. But this guy, this signal crayfish, that's a tank of a crayfish, his water, and maybe because he was sitting in it and it's been like an 80-degree day or something, maybe it turned into jambalaya or something while I wasn't looking. And yeah, man, it is. Apparently, I'm allergic. It is not good. What happened? I had my eye. This one. Oh wait, no. Is it that one? No, it's this one. Swell completely shut at one point, and I have had blisters that actually formed big enough that they broke. And on my forehead, I had these weird, like it almost looked like like a Star Trek creature, like one of the alien races that has like a spiral design of bumps on their head or something. Like well, I'm thinking of like not Next Generation, but like you know, Captain Janeway and Voyager and Neelix with the dots on his head, but actual bumps maybe. I don't know. Romulans, is that the one? Are they the ones with the crest of texture on the side of their head? Anyways, the crayfish turned me into a Romulan is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So, the other news is I've got a phosphate deep dive that is an hour and 6 minutes long right now. It's more than anybody should want to know about the phosphate cycle and phosphates in nature, in our aquariums, in our plants, in our fish, in our invertebrates. Talk about how it helps shrimp and other invertebrates molt and get rid of their exoskeleton. And Cardassians, maybe that's the one. Yeah. Well, Klingons, I know that one, guys. That one, they've got the like, you know, thing on like the big old texture on their forehead. But yeah, so the episode is recorded audio wise. The script is written. All what did it end up being? 29 pages, I think, on the computer. The script for the episode. And then I also have a shorter version that's coming in around 10 minutes ish. That is just the cycle and how it applies to the aquarium hobby. But the long video goes into, you know, the difference between different phosphates. So the difference between KPH O2 and KPH 2O6, and you know, all these different these different variations that are found out in nature, because you don't just find phosphorus on its own out in nature because it's too flammable. So it always at least bonds with 4 oxygen atoms. So anyways, I was torn on this video too. It's very audio focused. It was written so that you could take it all in without having to see anything, and like a podcast episode. But because of that, there's no point where I'm like, hey, look at this chart here, or according to this graph, or you know, any of that. Now, I do have a bunch of images that I could include, but I'm kind of just torn if I want to edit all of that work. If the most hardcore of y'all nerdy people who are going to watch an hour-long thing on phosphates and their role as fertilizers, phosphate toxicity, phosphate depletion, how the Amazon doesn't have enough phosphates, and where the Amazon rainforest gets its phosphates, how China and Ethiopia are having basically they have leverage over entire regions because they have dams that control the flow of phosphates downriver, and there is war potentially brewing. I mean, there's all sorts of you know, aspects of this, and so I'm tempted to just release the phosphate talk without editing it too much, without putting a ton of graphics in. What it is it's me talking and filming an aquarium. But while I'm filming, I didn't realize that the house actually, on the tripod that I have, it vibrates, because to film the aquarium in the living room, you want to zoom in because there's glare from certain angles. And so you zoom in at around 5 times zoom on the phone or camera or whatever. Doesn't matter. 5 times is 5 times. And because of that, though, the floor moving at all makes it kind of tilt. And because you know what's level with water, It's really obvious. So I know somebody's going to complain about that. It's not like rocking all over the place, but are times when it's doing that. And part of it makes me want to strip all the video out of it and just put like a loop of 10 minutes of a fish for 5 times or something. I don't know. I'm just talking out loud, guys. Basically, you know what? I want to say hi to you. I want to just see how folks are doing. Make sure there's no emergency fissuations, yeah, and say hell yeah, brother, to the country that is America. Now, in my opinion, I am not free until I can walk down the street with 2 ARs, hell, 4 ARs, naked, with a lady of the night, playing a game of pinochle, 4 steaks, and eating unpasteurized cheese. And what else could we add to the lineup? Oh, naked. So that is my stance on our whole freedom situation. Don't like this whole book banning thing. That's not okay. Don't like any of that. I don't want anything banned. I want all the stuff that everyone hates to be accessible for everyone to hate. Yeah, sure, Slossers. That you're getting where I was going with it, but probably not for me these days. These days, my recreational drug of choice seems to be Benadryl. I was about this close to using the EpiPen. My breathing was starting to get like I was coughing and my throat was a little unclear, and like unclear. That's an odd way to say that, Alex. Anyhow, my throat was itchy, and I almost did the EpiPen and ER. It was very, very close. Now, a lot of people were like, "You got to get rid of that crayfish," and part of me is thinking, "Yeah," because I don't know if I do a water change. Granted, it's 50 gallons versus a bag that was stewing in crayfish, but I'm trying to figure out that whole situation right now too. I guess I'll just have to test it too, and like put a drop of the tank water on my arm, and then put another drop on, like scratch my arm, and put another drop there, like just kind of see how sensitive I really am to it. But yeah, so stop rubbing your eyes. Yeah, good luck, man. Allergies out here in Washington are awful right now. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it, my face. The white parts are the parts that are not swollen. So there's like some white here and there's some white up here. Maybe there's like a dot of it, like I don't know, like right in here. This is all swollen. All this sinus in here is swollen. My cheeks are swollen. My lips are swollen. My actual like cheeks are swollen. I am not having a good time health-wise this week. I don't even want to be on camera. You can see my neck swollen. Anyhow, I'm here though. And what's up, Luke Wang? What's up, Nancy B from Tennessee or in Tennessee? Going G, what's going on? I'm so happy to have you as a member. Thank you very kindly. Nat Theobald, all you members, Nancy B, obviously Nirvana Aquatics, Jeff Kane, Coral Works, Going G, who else was above you? Oh, Luke Wang, AOO, hello, AOO, A for yayo, walk around with yayo, all in my nays, oh, I must have been crazy, yo. Anybody remember that silly song? And Drifters Workshop, all y'all members, thank you so very kindly. The Nano Aquarium guy, another great member of the channel. You guys, it makes such a difference to me, and I want to commit that we will always have a $1.99 tier. I don't want to be charging no $5.99, no $4.99. I mean, you guys, if you want to up the ante, you can. You can say, you know what? Here's my steak. Is that the right? No, my mark. That's my mark, and I'm putting it down. But if you can't do that, that's fine. I'll let you go with just watching the channel is more than enough. But yeah, it really does make a difference, because then I can sit around having an allergy attack, feeling like crap, and I can sit there and in the backyard be in my hammock, and I've got my phone with has internet on it, and I've got a laptop that I'm writing a script on, uh, and or not really even a laptop. It's like a notebook. It's like the Galaxy Note something that came free with I don't know, $49 thing came with whatever when I bought my phone from Verizon years ago. So it's like a really lame day planner is what it really is, that has Wi-Fi, but it has word processing, and it has speech to text. So I was able to kind of work with it to put together, scripts. And sometimes I'll put my scripts or my outline, my facts for a video. I'll put them on that, and then it'll slowly scroll it, or you can have it turn the page like a slideshow every 30 seconds or every minute or whatever. And so I like to use that. But I've been laid up doing it, and I was just thinking to myself, I kind of laid it all out there in that video talking about the lightning, and the truth is I could not work a 9 to 5 job right now. I can't hold it together physically that long in the day. I get run down and I want to take a nap. And neurologically, I get flustered, and I have a deterioration of my cognitive abilities by about 5 hours of being awake or so. And then if I take a nap or rest, even just lay down for a little bit, and an hour or two, then I can get up and I can be okay again. But I have to. It doesn't matter if I'm sleeping or anything, but I have to. Like sleeping the whole night, but I have to sleep uh, every, I don't know, 8 to 12 hours. I have to get an hour or two of sleep, or my functionality just goes downhill, and it's really frustrating. But with all that being said, I would have such a hard time working a job where you're there like 12 hours or 10 hours every day, and you got to work straight through. I don't think I would make it. I think I would get sent home, honestly. They would think I was drunk or asleep or something by this point in the day. And it's a shame, because I got sober and then I get a head injury, and one of the impacts of said head injury is symptoms that mimic not being sober at times. My wife was one of the first to point that out to me, that the irony in that, there's some sort of irony in that. But in any case, all right, let me look at the chat and see what sort of fissuations we have going on here. Coro, Alex, you have to mix the tank water with local honey. Chant your favorite. Yeah, my favorite anti-inflammatory spell. Mix liquid Benadryl in. Eye drops. Yeah, the eye drops are by the ready for live streams during this season now too. Going G, am I going to grow my beard out? Probably not, because my wife doesn't like it. If I grow the whole thing out, she doesn't mind it, but she doesn't like the goatee type thing. Yeah, I think she did want me to try growing out a mustache at one time, but I don't know if I like the mustache any longer than this. This is already peak mustache, in the sense of stuff like cookie crumbs can get stuck in it, and that's just all sorts of just, yeah, no. I'm Wilford Brimley. That's who I'm going to be eventually, if I don't stop swelling from these incidents. Uh, Scotty, what's up? Let's see here. Who else snuck in here? Anne Marie Bliss. Hello, you made it live. Well, welcome. Come on in. The water's fine. Squeak, man. Okay, this name here, whatever this is, uh, Squibsky or Squibski. Squibski, I like that. Squibski. Okay. Digging it, doing it and doing it and doing it well, doing it and doing it and doing it well, doing it and doing it. Uh, Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. What's going on? I hope you're doing well. Linda Worth, hope you're doing well. Um, Love all the regulars every week. Yeah, I love that you guys are in here every week. I hope you guys can find camaraderie and friendship amongst one another because I'm a terrible host. Yeah. Ayo, the chat is popping off. Orchids and Endlers. I like that name too. Welcome. Uh, okay. Let's see. Amisa, what's going on? We got Jeff Kane, of course. We got Luke, of course. Andy Carson, hello, my friend. Squibsy is a new member. We got a new member tonight. Yes, we did it, even with me looking like a trash panda. An American cornbread. Dang it, corn-fed American bread trash panda. Uh, and who else do we have in here? Sean Graham, what's going on? Hey, anyone who greeted me, and hi to everyone else too. Yeah, I like the way you handled that, sir. Fish Dreams, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Uh, you do construction and you love a nap, huh, Sean? All right. Well, I feel you. I feel you. You sleeping good at night? No, no. I'm not. Actually, I've been up most nights. I'll fall asleep again around 10 or 11, and then around or no, more like actually like 9 or 10, and then around 11:30 or 12:30 I'm up, and then I'm up until 7 a.m., then 8 a.m., then maybe I'll take another hour or two nap. Basically, I get 3 2-hour naps in the day lately. It's been real bad. um as far as for me now, when I was younger, I liked that system, and I did it because of working split shifts and working as a tattoo artist out of my house and going to school at the same time. Like, I had a studio in the attic, which was on a really steep hill, so it was the fourth floor of this old mansion type house that was split into different units. So I rented one unit as my gallery and studio for all my tattoo work, a place called Soma Inc. Studios up in Bellingham, Washington. And then the room I lived in was on the second floor, and it had roommates. Let's see, I had four roommates, one bathroom, and all four of us roommates had significant others at the time. It was real crazy. Capricorn Shouty says, "Is you drunk?" No, I'm not drunk. I haven't drank in years, actually. My wedding was the last time alcohol touched my lips. Uh, Intentionally, anyways. I don't know. Maybe there's been some like Listerine or something, but and that was a sip of champagne for my wifey and I when you do the like, eh, but you do it gracefully. When you lock arms, man, this farmer's tan is just chef's kiss. Wait, it's not showing off as well. It's like it's hold on. Let's get rid of this. Also, Zeus Leah 1, welcome as a new member. Thank you so very kindly. I still want the long script versions of any of your deep dives that you cut down for YouTube. Nirvana Aquatics. Oh yeah. Do you want the physical script? Because I mean, obviously I have that as well on this. Um, and it may not always be identical to what the actual um, I don't know what you call it. What the actual words that do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? The words that are coming out of my mouth. Sometimes I switch things up, or I think of something last moment and I add it. So that I usually do an outline, but sometimes I get really granular and I think, well, this would make a good article or a good like big overview or maybe even a chapter for a book on to do something with the aquarium. So then I'll write it all out, and that's what I did this time is I wrote it all out and approached it that way. Uh, you can take easier versions of the text. Yeah, definitely, especially in because the phosphate episode that's coming out, and the other thing is analytic wise, I think the long form won't do super well. I don't know if the shorter one, if I keep it around 10 minutes, if it'll do well or not. But either way, I think both are pretty boring to people who just don't want to actually dig in there and learn. And if they do, there's a good chance that they've already done it, unless you're just coming along for the ride because you think that that kooky Alex, he digs up some weird info on things, and the way I try to tie things into the hobby from the world at large. So yeah. Slaughter says maybe a video curing fish naturally through meds here in Canada. Meds banned. Yeah, no, I know you guys have it rough up there. Aquatic morning show. What's going on, Jess? How are you doing? I got something just for you. You like it? Uh, and Kenny E, what's going on, buddy? We got some amazing folks here. Now, I know that Lucas R. Brett is going to be streaming any moment now. Maybe he already is. Somebody could probably tell me. Stephen P. 2003, what's going on? Uh, you know what? With the Stephen P. 2003, that flows off the tongue so well that if you change your name to like Stephen 4 2000 and Door, no, Stephen P. 2022, people would be like, it would just wreck their brains. Trust me. Let's see here. Aqua balls. What's up, George? So I'm going to see George actually, which is going to be great. Cave of Wonders. Hello. Hope you're doing well. And like I said, like you may have guessed from my thumbnail, yeah, I'm pretty useless, pretty worthless today's stream. I'm going to have to just buck up, buddy, and admit that I'm not feeling good, not doing good. But I did want to tell you guys that I still am loving good. I still love all of you, and you mean lots to me. LRB, yeah, 6:30. Yeah, sometimes he goes a little early, a little late, whatever it may be. I usually run over his stream. Like it's probably the 15th time I've either started during his stream or run over a little bit of the beginning of his stream or something. I don't know. He's done it to me too, so a bunch of times. It's whatever. But I just know I don't want y'all to have a conundrum on your hands, a like dilemma, as they say. Now, the difference between a problem and a dilemma is where there are two different options, but neither one or either one is a poor outcome or will probably yield poor outcomes. Whereas a problem may only have one outcome or solution or path of action, uh, and it may have a good outcome or may have a bad outcome. And dilemmas are what you want your enemies to have. Because it keeps them occupied in the art of war, according to Sun Tzu. Lindisfarne Druid, Alex, actually, rather than issues, I have some odd behavioral stuff going on in a double black angel tank. Had three-way spawn, one female servicing two males. Oh, that's interesting. Three fanning eggs still. I'm curious how that plays out. I would probably take those babies as soon as they're born, though, just to be on the safe side. 3G, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Is it doing well as well? That's a little redundant, but we're gonna say it anyways. Uh, Just set up 10-gallon huge rock pile. Have to figure out what I want to try to breed if I can. Well, that sounds fun, Nat. I think, it'd be fun. Something that hangs out near the bottom, maybe some Batis or some Elasoma, um, and some. You play college linebacker. I don't, but I do play one on TV. Uh, no, I did play a little bit of football, but I broke my back at 16. And then all those days are gone. Oh no, you guys are seeing how dirty my elbows are today from going. Yeah, and even as rundown as I feel, you guys better bet I went to go collect fish this morning. Went and got all muddy. Need to go hop in the shower still. Um, it's much cooler today than the last few days, though. The last few days were so hot, just not fun. Speaking of Eller, oh yeah, you got that. I got that. Stephen P. 2000 and poor. I hear you on that. I think everybody hears you on that this summer. Aquaball's going to buy a pair of micro geckos. Super excited. I don't even know what a micro gecko is. That sounds awesome. I imagine it being a tiny gecko, which great. I would love lots of those living in my house, eating all my bugs and crawling on my face whenever I fall asleep. Love it. Love micro geckos. Yeah, the streaming schedule is nuts. Yeah, well, the streaming schedule, I usually, Tuesdays and Fridays, 4:30 Pacific time is what I shoot for. Um, but, that hasn't been happening because of, part of it is I have taken on some side gigs the last 2 months. Because as you get into the summer months, YouTube watch time goes down quite a bit, and it just does naturally. But also this year, they have changed a number of aspects of it that have made it more noticeable. And so I was working on a project. I'll show you guys the project. Hold on, let me show you guys what I created. All right, so this label here, this graphic, my wife and I invented that. Yumi, it means beautiful abundance or like fresh abundance. And these are cherries, but this is a local. My wife works for Charlie's Produce, which is a giant distribution network, everything west of the Mississippi, fresh produce. But the cherries are a Washington special, as are apples. Technically, potatoes are too. We grow more potatoes than any other state, even though Idaho tries to take the title. Frickin' Idaho, I'm watching you. But this, I didn't do the cherry blossom look on here. Someone else did, but they used plumerias instead of cherry blossoms. Those don't look like cherry blossoms at all. But other than that, I worked on some of the packaging for a bunch of different cherries, blueberries, blackberries, watermelons, strawberries, yada, 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 yada. And my wife is the marketing director over there at Charlie's. And I was doing graphic design. So basically just trying to, when I'm picking up side work, it's down in Seattle and we have to go through downtown and traffic's always nutty. And so that makes for when I think I'm going to be streaming at 4 or 4:30, it makes it so that sometimes my trip, even though I leave at 3, ends up being, I don't know, 5 when I get home. It's pretty crazy. Oh, nice. Nathan Hovey got some Cora. Man, my brain today. Panda Corey sticking eggs to the glass. Right on. Stick those eggs to the glass. Stick those eggs to the glass. Stick those eggs to the glass. Jennifer McFadden, too bad this is your only stream this week. I love chatting with you. Well, thank you very kindly. Um, it might not be. I mean, it's the only one I've done thus far that it is intelligible. Uh, I just don't want to do a stream that's so run down, doesn't have anything to do with fish. I feel bad if it doesn't have anything to do with fish on a planned out uh I don't know, basis of teaching something or covering a certain topic or feedback or something. Squibsky says, I have two Ryukins, so goldfish, in a heavily planted and filtered 30-gallon. I add in equilibrium, and oh boy, did it scare the Discord. Uh, yeah. Well, everybody has their own opinion on how to raise a betta and a goldfish. You don't want to get in between logic and reason and somebody's opinions of goldfish and betta keeping because they're not compatible most of the time. Alex is their first spawn, so let's see how it plays out. The solid pair, rather guaranteed pair than rush spawn grow out. Yeah, yeah. I just wait and see if you're not worried about it. Then yeah, you can wait. It's pretty likely, especially with angelfish, they're usually going to eat their first 3 or 4 attempts, especially in an aquarium that they don't have a ton of room. Unless they have a ton of room and lots of plants and like a good amount of little tiny dither fish that they feel like they've got the control over big time, they don't really keep their young that well, I don't think. um yeah. Me giving him 100th of watch time. Thank you. Oh, I'm a scat man, says Cody V. I'm a scat man. I'm a scat man. Uh, oh, the 90s. I can't believe how many fry are in one collecting eggs. Killifish are underrated fish in the hobby. Need more killifish breeders. Yeah, no, I agree. Killifish breeders tend to be very hidden too. Like they do the like correspondence and they mail and they trade eggs in like test tubes and in like matchboxes with sphagnum moss or whatever, coconut husks. Um, in suspended animation, like the annual killifish and things like that. It's been that way for 100 years now, but it tends for some reason to be kind of this closed world of tight knit folks, and it's kind of odd, yeah. Johnny Best says, Fishery, you gave me a good idea about your jungle planted tanks. I was always against too heavy planted tanks, but for microfishes, planting heavily works wonders. Yeah, I just don't tend to keep, I mean, the biggest fish I have are my angels, and I make sure that they have right now. They've got the front. They've got this much space in the front all the way across, and then they've got all the way back. Some spots it's almost this deep out of this deep of a tank. They've got almost 3/4 of it in one alcove, and then the other spots there are a few spots where they've only got yay much uh, of the front. But then they've also got another 20 inches of water, so they have room to move, but it's not their ideal life style or sized setup because especially angels, they can get so tall when they're healthy and happy. Mine right now, the two that I have are, I mean, they're doing well, they're healthy so far, knock on wood. uh Knock on wood, here we go. And I just I don't know how big they're going to get. Sergio got really big. uh, PEI, best potatoes hands down. The rest are pretenders. PEI, what is that? What is that? Parts of eastern Iowa. What is PEI? Fish streams. When you feel better, will you do more streams? Oh yes, yes, of course. I'm feeling mentally like, man, I want to get out and chat and hang out with friends and do things, but I'm just so drained right now. I'm just really drained, and my physical health, like I said, I'm really frail. Like if I do anything that's overexerting right now, I just start sweating and I start um, getting kind of like a tremor and feeling, itchy and just, yeah, autoimmune stuff mixed with the allergy stuff, which I mean that's all the same stuff. But then ever since the the crayfish caused my whole face to swell up and caused my eyes to swell up, my lower lip split open. Um, I've never had a reaction quite like that from something I didn't eat. But luckily it didn't get too bad. Paul Machado says, "Hey Alex, what about your Discord channel? Did you ever launch it?" I know. I know. What was that last week? Maybe that we talked about it. I did talk more about it with some people, but I didn't set it up yet, and I need to do that. That is something that's now officially on the to-do list because I know a lot of you guys want to be active on there. And I want you guys to have each other to hang out with too, because there's so many of you in here that are smart, experienced fish keepers that can help one another out, especially help like newer folks that are asking things like, oh, I don't know. Um, they're trying their best. They've got all the equipment right, and they've been reading books, and they're like, I still don't know what Alexander Williamson's favorite soda is. And I mean, you guys can help them out. It's a cool, it's a cool community that way. Connor, hello. Has anybody ever bred stone catfish? I heard one person has, but has anyone else? I can't find any updated articles. I haven't heard of it. I've lost my catfish for like a year, and then thought, oh, they're all dead, and then been cleaning out sand and thought, haha, look, a catfish. But I'm pretty sure that doesn't count as breeding, right? That's just reappearing. Um, let's see here. Oh, yeah, 3G. I can do another snails bells at some point. I'm sitting here laughing my butt off at you and totally forgot to pick up Landon. Oh no, I had to make a U-turn. Don't tell nobody. Oh, I'm sorry, Jess. Uh, does your husband have as good of a farmer's tan as I do? Or do I win right now? I think I'm winning. Winning. I mean, look at this. Oh, I'm so bad. Look, I'm in a biracial relationship with myself. Um, can I use lava rock chips as a bottom layer? You sure can. Actually, that has a lot of bioavailability for surface area, for microflora and fauna. Top notch. Love it. It's a little harsh for some fish on their like barbels or for any loaches and stuff that dig. I would probably use that as a rock underneath a layer of some softer sand and about an inch and a half, 2 inches of sand. I really do believe in that method for quite a few different things because the water will still get through that, especially if you start with the coarse sand and then only the last bit do like a sugar sand or a sifted. If you can sift it out with the flour sifter and get the finest stuff at the top, uh, eventually it will work its way down due to just density and fluid dynamics and, you know, how that all works. But in the meantime, it looks pretty sweet, and it does well. Dan says, I just got angels for the first time. They're just about to come out of quarantine. Right on. Well, that's cool. Justin John, can I eat? Okay, so you asked the Law Rock. Hey, Pyle, what's going on? Sergeant Pyle. Red Koi Angels just hatched by George. George, you're always hatching something, man. You must have so many brine shrimp on the burner. You just like got 5 brine shrimp pots cooking at once. Ire first, what's going on? Hello, a wee top of the morning to you, lassie. It's annoying with breeders selling pre-sex juveniles, so other people have a hard time getting into breeding, especially rare and expensives. Yeah, that has been going on for as long as the hobby has existed. The oldest trick in the book for scamming people, unfortunately. It's just part of the human condition, I suppose. Oh, Prince Edward Island. Got it. Thank you, Dan. You're straightening my brain out. I think angelfish are pretty, but I low-key haven't liked them since mine ate all my pretty neon tetras when I was 14. That is unusual for them to eat a bunch of neon tetras, unless they were really young neon tetras. They must have been hungry, or yeah, real angry. Maybe just having that age where they are able to spawn, but they're not big enough that they're doing it yet. Really, it might be kind of like a hormonal trigger that maybe is causing some issues between them and the tank at that point. I don't know. Let's see here. Professor Stoll. Okay. Ira first says, Alex, go to the pharmacist and tell them you want iron tonic. It's great stuff. Worst case scenario, it won't do you any harm. Best case scenario, you'll feel better. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Why not? Why not? Why not? So great to have a stream and a place for the Fish Fam community to come together. Yeah, well, because of you and the fishfam.link website, now we know where that is, when that is. At any given time, you can go check it out. MX Bernard says, hi, honey, what you got in the bag? What's in the bag? Mac and cheese for you. For me? Where'd you get mac and cheese? It's in the box. Oh, it's in the box. Oh. Wait, what does he say? What's in the box? Open it. No. What does he do? Does he go, no? I can't remember what Brad Pitt does in that movie. Hey, man, really enjoyed your recent video on transitioning to filterless. Made a lot of things click into place. My question, ... Oh, guess you didn't have a question. No, I'm sure it's down here further. Let me scroll. I have a 6-year-old tank, and I now know that thin substrate I have is crushed coral. Can this work as part of a built-up substrate? Yes, 100%. It's still going to have good bacteria on it right now. Now, depending on how much substrate you're adding, you're going to then bury that, and it's going to become anaerobic or anoxic. If it's deep enough, like 6-7 inches, you could get anaerobic. Anoxic, you'll have low oxygen, so it doesn't have oxygen free floating in the water, but there's still oxygen in the molecules and things that are down there that it can rip away oxygen from. And in those cases, you need a little bit of sulfur and a little bit of iron. And then what it'll do is a different type of bacteria from the kind we're used to, from the nitrosomas and nitrobacters and nitrobacillus. Those two genuses only live in a pH of 6.5 to 8.5 or so, maybe 9, and at a temperature of around 50 to say, I don't know, 85 or something. Other than that, they definitely need. There's different niches with different types of bacteria and things like that. So it was a good question just to double check. Um, but I think you'll be all right. Um, let's see here. I think you'll be all right. Just topping it off. We top of the morning to you. Hey, Alex, I'm trying to breed CPDs. Have gotten a bunch of eggs, but eggs are all fungusing and not being fertilized. I've had the fish for 5 to 6 months, so I think they're mature. Any suggestions? Yeah. So you can try getting some methylene blue, a bottle of methylene blue, and then just get a toothpick and literally put it in the methylene blue. So just the tip has like a drop of methylene blue in it. And then literally with your fingernail or finger or I don't know, a spoon, just hold it back and flick that drop into some water. And that's all it takes is like one little drop or an eyedropper if you're fancy like that. If you got a little dropper like this, and you can put a little dropper of it in, and a little bit of that in a small container with an air stone, that methylene blue will really stop things from fungusing. But also you can use just more and more catoppa leaves until your acidity is down below the 6.5 level, because like I was saying, at 6.5, fungi and bacteria really stop being feeling like they're at home. And all of a sudden, this new wave of those have to readjust and fill in. And they're a little less common. They're a little more tucked away in your ecosystem and in the world at large. But they go dormant. And when they wake back up, that's when they've found their host or their proper conditions. Let's see here. Alex, speaking of bioservice, I'm currently testing a local rainforest seed pod as organic bioballs are in one of my canister filters. That's what I used for the shrimp 2.5 gallon tank. Was I used Lotus, the actual Lotus pod or cone, let it get some algae and stuff on it, and then I threw that in, and it totally cycled a 20 gallon long, and then a 26 26 gallons or 26.5, and then it kind of pooped out but that's probably because it didn't have enough air and flow. But yeah. But yeah, those work pretty darn well, and the Native Americans knew about them. Plus, a lot of the fungi around here, where I live, have other purposes and things. Like they could carry fire in certain fungi, which is pretty cool. Please don't do an Irish accent. Use sausage. Yeah, I can't do an Irish. I can't do an Irish accent. It's Scottish, anyways. It's a wee bit Irish, not quite poor enough. All right, guys. Paul Stamets was come on, computer. Was colonized by a variant of cordyceps in the 1970s and has been a fungus evangelist for as a mouthpiece for fungal overminds ever since. Yeah, fungi perfecti and Paul Stamets. Yeah, I've got to meet him a few times and so forth. He's a nice guy. He's a kooky guy, but I respect him immensely. Alan Rockefeller is the other mycologist that I have massive amounts of respect for. That he's more classically trained, whereas Stamets kind of taught himself, and then I think he got his official PhD just granted to him essentially from the work he did, where he was able to find a live a live blocking protein, I want to say, or blocking alkaloid or something that stopped smallpox in it's on surfaces. It made it so it didn't spread, and it was from an old growth mushroom. Irie Fish says the best Scottish accent ever. Yeah, no, I know. Yes, that's what I get paid the big dollars for. Everyone called me Gomer all the way through senior year of high school, even my teachers. Oh, that's rough, Pile. That's rough. At least they didn't call you Sergeant Joker or something, and we're all afraid of you. MX Bernard, so off to the side, but what about local honey for allergies? Yeah, I believe in that. I think that helps. If I can go find some local honey, like very local, like the behind my house would be ideal. Otherwise, there a lot of them are brought to different farms and things, and that they kind of work off of whatever crop they're near. But if they're actually working things like alder trees and the little wildflowers, things like that, the stuff that is abundant here that's not brought in as just invasive introduced stuff, is super interesting. Only Fins, Rockefeller represent. Yeah, you know it. Okay, everybody, it's been a hoot. Off to forest to collect more life. Glass Lagoon. I'm a little confused, but I probably am just reading it wrong. Alex Getwell, wish you could teleport. Dry red center. Just for the hot, dry air, bro. Oh yeah, are you the Australia, the red hot dry center, mate? Largest living organism in the world is the mushroom Mycelium mass. Oh, that's the honey mushroom, if you believe that. Or it might be Pando, and Pando is the quaking aspen of Colorado, which some people think that is the largest biomass or organism. Fishery, Alex, that Ludwigia you recommended is in the sky now. Thank you. Okay. Alex, oh, LRB is on. All right. Well, then I am going to call it a night. I'm going to bid you all adieu. Welcome so very much, and thank you to our new members. I tip my hat to you, Slamerican. And Alex, link up with LRB. No, I'm too run down, man. I need to call it a night before I say something dumb and get myself canceled. But yeah, Coro, I think you're totally right. And hello. Cornbread. I could go for some cornbread. I ate cornbread this morning. It was cornbread good. Anyways, guys, Michelle Knight, Boots and Cats, all you guys, thanks for coming out, even though we didn't really do anything tonight other than blah, 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 do nothing. And if all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to light, to mind, do something with old Gary Lang zines, something. I wish you the best of all the jiggling atoms of the universe. Well, me too. Out of all the random multiverses out there and possible scenarios that could unfold, I hope all of you find your highest potential energy state for the next path forward, for your next portal into the future as we surf the gravity waves, riding quasars. All right, guys, have a good one. I will probably be posting the phosphate deep dive maybe tomorrow, but I think almost 100% we'll have the short version with graphics. It's 10 minutes done tomorrow. That's just on the phosphate and phosphorus cycle And then we'll do the big drop on the other one either later in the same night or maybe even the next day. And that one, like I said, I don't think I'm going to even edit it. It's just going to be a video of the fish while I talk about it in depth, since it is such an audio focused episode, really. And then if people really like it, I could always go back and edit it. If people are like, oh, I just want to see that graphed out, or the name of that spelled out, or whatever it may be, stuff like that I can do easily and help out with. But I think that'll just about do it. The light's coming into the room now, finally, at a funky monkey angle. And I think that means that it's time for me to blow this popsicle hut, stand, joint, one of those things. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you so much, members, friends, watchers, future watchers, past watchers. I'm a girl watcher. I'm a fish watcher. I'm a squirrel watcher. I'm a squirrel watcher. Muppet, you're late, but I love you regardless. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here for real this time. Bye. I'm jumping off. Tell Lucas Bretz, tell LRB. I say H to the ISO, I to the GH. Hi, as in up, as in H to the ELLO. Hello. And then I'm out. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Much love to you and your fishes. I hope that your dinner is delicious. Don't forget to do the dishes. Don't be so malicious. And act a little auspicious when you're chilling with your fishes and relaxing and maxing on the vicious quasar, phasar waves rolling through the universe.